Welcome back, surf fans. This is the quarterfinals of the Hawaiian Pro Heat number 3. Ryan Callanan, Gabriel Medina, Tanner Gdowskis, Nat Young. 4 surfers will enter, only 2 will advance. Chris Cote here with Pete Mel. Every heat, there's so much importance on pretty much every wave, every score. We're getting down into it, and Gabriel Medina starts us off.
Right out of the gates, our world champion pumping down the line. What's he got for us? Can he somehow project to the open face? He does, and gets another turn in. Has he got more open face? He does again. Look at this. What a start for Gabriel Medina. So he'll go another spot up. Again, there's other surfers that are still in this thing, so there will be some changes, but just by making the quarters, as we watch Gabriel Medina backing up his 6.33.
Yeah, Medina, just, you know, he is in attack mode. All the time, every time.
I don't know if
already
you've
got
noticed.
2 waves ridden, and the rest of the 3 guys are just sitting out there going, well, what just happened?
Coming into it, doing okay, you know, put some 8s and 9s on the board. But he seems to be building here.
Tanner Gdowskis now in his first wave, looking for one of these lefts to run down the point. Speed and aggression from the young surfer from San Clemente, California. Nice, strong finish. Goes to the reverse and goes down. At this stage of the game, you have to finish each and every wave.
Yes, you do.
The judges are going to be very picky, and they're going to pretty much just decipher everything you do on every turn, every wave. You have to finish.
Here's Callanan, so he finds the first wave of the set, first major wave of the set, shuts down, but he does get that final move and completes it with poise. And then take a look at Tanner Gdowskis, this little left-hander here, always putting in the extra effort, looking spicy in and out of his turns. Nice little drift right there, comes to the inside section, and this was the mistake. Unfortunately, he needed to pull that one off to really solidify his score.
And I just want to make sure that I end up this year well, you know.
2-time winner out here. You starting to get that winning feeling?
I just think about the next hit. You know, I surf with Felipe, and you know how this kid is. He's second in the world right now, and he's been surfing amazing the whole year. So, and the waves today like fits his surfing perfectly, you know. So it's kind of hard for me, but I'm just gonna try to do my best for sure.
Dropping 8s and 9s like they're nothing, and here we go again. Gabriel Medina looking left, fades right, keeps Gdowskis off that wave. And here he goes into his laser sharp backside approach down the line, throws in the reverse for good measure, pulls it off nicely. Always puts his name on these waves. Right there you saw.
It's pretty rare.
He just kind of stands up at the end of the wave, just letting the judges know again, I'm in full control, so let me have it.
And again, this momentum building throughout an event. He'll do it in the heat. He'll do it throughout an event. That's what world champions do. I mean, Kelly Slater was the best at it, and you've got some new blood on the tour that is figuring out those types of behaviors. As we watch again the replay here of that last wave, little spinner to the inside, live action.
Ryan Callanan on his back end, up and out. And here we have, with priority, Nat Young having a bit of a look at that wave, but not engaging. All vying for that 2015 World Championship trophy. And here goes Gabriel Medina. Again, sneaking around and finding a little left in the inside. Starts with the reverse. A little open face snap, get back into the power pocket. But watch out, speaking of power pocket, Nat Young, spitting cobra on his backhand. Looking like he may have had some momentum from some maneuvers from the outside section. And then you see steaming back out into the lineup. Now Tanner Gdowskis in yellow will have the top priority spot. His first wave of 5.17. We've got a tight heat on our hands, Pete Mel.
Well, let's take a look here at Nat Young. He had waited a bit. That first set, he had a closeout, had to kick out. So just a quick wave of 0.37 here. He's finally able to find some open face. Just the 2 turns. And that'll be a mid-range score for Nat Young. And then the reverse attempt here and a spin. Little dig on the bottom turn. Didn't like the rest of that wave, so he kicks out. He's thinking he's not going to better the 5.3. Let's watch the first turn, though. Nice little section to do that type of maneuver.
Wow, he's live again. Another one from the inside with speed. Goes to the air. There you see. Lands it, reverts out, and right behind him, Tanner Gdowskis. Sticking to that backhand that has been so trustworthy throughout this event. Wave not cooperating through to the inside, and he has a front row seat of Nat Young, and he'll be up and out. So all surfers now looking a little bit frantic. And Gabriel Medina, he is, again, just kind of surfing his own heat. Hasn't really even been in the priority battle, but look at these waves he's been picking off on the inside.
Yeah, and that's that inside section. Sometimes you just get those nice little runners. Look at this. Pumps the air reverse, keeps moving down the line, stays with it, and will get some more open face here to finish. Little tail slide, grab rail, little flick of the wrist. He likes it. I think he'll better that 5.33 and extend his lead. Nice turn there. You know, again, he's getting section after section, gets the air. There's the innovation and progression element of the criteria, the judging criteria. And then Tanner Gdowskis on the backhand, changing it up, gets a pretty good left. And unfortunately there, he gets a little stuck again. You know, that 5.17 could have been Pauly 6.5s had he pulled the reverse right there, a little stuck once again. You know, tiny errors. You know, it doesn't need much to move into second, as Ryan Callanan has that 6.33 but doesn't have a backup either, so Tanner will move ahead of him for the moment while priority sits with Callanan waiting out the back. Freddie P and family.
Well, now a fan, Freddie P in the stands watching as Tanner Gdowskis now looking for a left. Couple nice turns and he starts to generate speed. Lots of momentum going down the line. A little bounce to this one, but good. Good looking, at least at the start. Going for that roundhouse to reverse rebound. Goes down, so now Gdowskis maybe feeling a little bit of stress as the score comes through for Gabriel Medina. It's huge, a 9.23. Again, Pete got that wave without priority. It was an insider, and he dropped the biggest single wave score of this entire heat.
Let's watch Tanner here. He's picking up a little inside left, got some speed here. He goes for the big roundhouse cutback, wants to add a little extra by going for a reverse, but goes down. So another, again, a little bit of an error. So we've got actually two waves coming in for Tanner.
Slowly but surely becoming a battle for second place as Medina, so mechanical. So, I mean, he's just already looking unstoppable. And here he is again with third priority. Nobody's watching him. And he's finding these just little left gems and doing stuff like that. I mean, might not have looked that pretty, but I'll tell you what, it worked. And that's going to be another big score for Medina. And here goes Callanan on his backhand, trying to rebound. He's in second place now. He's got a 6.33 and a .50. But, I mean, Gabriel Medina, he is a special talent. We haven't seen a surfer like this in many years.
Well, I think he's paying attention. You know, I think that when you see a little wave, let's watch first Ryan Callanan on the backhand here. This is the second wave of the set. It had a good right, little line on it. It is a smaller wave, but he's trying to back up that 6.33 to keep himself in second. You know, Tanner took over that position for the moment, but then watch. This is that first wave of the set. Had a really good, it wasn't too big, so it stays right here on the line of the reef for the left. Gets two opportunities, goes for a little tail whip, comes down, climbs the whitewater one more time. Yeah, you're right. This is a masterful talent, and he has just been getting better and better throughout this season and now throughout this event. He is going to be one to beat in this Hawaiian Pro for sure.
Nobody even looked at that wave. I mean, that's like leaving an amazing wide receiver wide open. And you might be just tuned in to the Gabriel Medina Show. First big score came through at a 9.23. He's just backed it up with an 8.43, comboing the field. Safe to say, Gabriel Medina, come on in and rest, have some water. You've done your job. Wow. Both ways have been giving some high scores. Here goes Nat Young. He's in fourth place. He needs an 8.46. Nice opening snap. Straight into another whipping turn. There was a big one. Fourth turn for Nat Young, looking solid. Strong finish for the top 10 ranked surfer from Santa Cruz. Nat Young is right back in it, Pete Mel.
Yeah, that's going to be the wave that's going to need him. He's going to need more. That 4.27 is not going to hold. There's just too much talent in this heat. Too many waves coming into the lineup, but that's exactly what he needed to do to get back in this heat. Let's take a look at it. Nice size set wave, overhead. speeding down the line. See how he adjusts that bottom turn to perfectly time that next turn, and then there unleashes again. Gets the third turn and the final move. I see this being a good and almost excellent score. We'll see where the judges plant this one. You've got some great looks to compare it to. Gabriel Medina's 8.43. And there's the score. Almost excellent.
7.50 for Nat Young. That puts him well within striking distance, now needing a 5.23.
It's in his blood. He is a competitor.
Here we go, Gabriel Medina. He's out to a huge lead. He's trying to improve on an 8.43. He's going to have to do something pretty spectacular, which obviously we know he is capable of that on every single wave. So 5.5 to go. Medina well into the lead. Most likely that wave will not replace his low, the 8.43. Let's take a look at what Tanner Gdowskis did on his backhand.
Well, so Tanner choosing to split the peak with Gabriel here. Just the one section. Punches the tail, throws it into reverse. Has a low score of a 3.87. In fourth position. Needs a real 7.56 bigger score to overtake it. It's going to be not.
First wave of this set. He is in third priority, third in line, as he scoots over to the left, and it will be a split peak. Ryan Callanan going right on his backhand, goes to the nice backside tail chuck and pulls it right back under him. He's still going down the line, just raised the jet ski. So Callanan
that was big.
Replace a 6.33. Love the mix of maneuvers he did.
That was huge for him. You know, he has been sitting out the back waiting, and let's watch Tanner too. Important wave for Tanner. He needs to get something, into that 7 range to be a contender here at the end of this heat. Couple nice snaps to start this wave out. Big layback gap. That was beautiful. That was powerful.
I think
nice
that's where
move.
we heard the cheers.
And then we also saw this as Callanan, little fin chuck, uses control. That was a tough move, when you get all loose like that, to keep that momentum flying down the line. He was able to finish it up. So we got to wait for these scores for both Tanner and Ryan, but both of these waves will probably factor in as you watch him. Nice little ride backwards after he flows those fins over the lip.
Wow, that is up close and personal. Great shot.
Nat Young did ride a wave, only a 2.73 though, so not factoring in.
Medina has priority. Could see him on his backhand. He does. Opts for the right. The backside reverse. Gets away from him. He goes down. 2 minutes to go. Waiting for scores to come through. Tanner Gdowskis looking for a 7.56. And Triple Crown of Surfing threat. Here goes Tanner Gdowskis. His wave comes in at a 7.07.
Ooh.
Now he just needs a 5.66. 3 big turns for Gdowskis. That wave, he had to make it count. Here goes Medina. Goes to the layback. Easily pulls it off. Now he'll come towards the beach with 1 minute to go. So a huge score coming through Tanner Gdowskis. Huge meaning it means a lot to his potential run here.
Callanan, that wave came in as a 5.9, does not factor in. I was wrong in that assumption. So door still open for Tanner Gdowskis. So the allocation needed a 5.66. Was this enough? He finished up strong. No mistakes there.
That's called leaving it up to the judges, because that is close right there. Didn't push anything too hard. I'm not going to say it's safe surfing, because he did have a little bit of spice in that tail slide and then a nice finish, but wow, that's right on the line.
It is, and they'll be doing some comparisons right now. Gabriel's calling it a heat. He's in on the inside with all the grommets.
Well, the perfect example would be, is that last wave of Tanner Gdowskis as good, if not a little bit better than Callanan's 5.9? Got to put those two side by side. He just needs a little bit under what Callanan got, a 5.66. So here we are in the pressure cooker situation. It's been compounded now to about a minute as the judges look over the scores for Tanner Gdowskis. I thought you were going to back me up. Fortunately, we've got the best judges in the business in the international field.
Well, let's take a
One
look
more
at it
look.
again. Yeah.
Is this a 5.66?
All right, so he kind of had to make this thing happen. There's a lot of action going on at the same time. Climbs the whitewater for the first turn, zips that second, so it's 2 nice turns. The floater for a finish. But again, he carried some speed through that last final move.
There was power, there was flow as well. 4 more scores to drop. Of course, you know Tanner cannot hear what we're saying, so we have no bearing on the situation. Heat is over. One says yes.
2.
Wow, it's going to be right there. 5.50.
Oh, man. Look at Callahan. He can't believe it.
A 6th.
Okay.
That is insane.
That
so
was
close.
huge for Callahan because now, by making the semifinals, he is building scores.